Hey beings, Namaste. Welcome to my YouTube page. It is Conxcious Productions, Conxcious Productions, Productions. The X is necessary, and the X means by any means necessary. So, welcome. This is Nunu. I'm so excited to be here. Today's topic, this video's post is about sexuality. Now, I have done a video before about sexuality. Oh, look, my kitty wants to join. I have done a video about sexuality before. I was with two of my other beautiful queens. And they were sharing their experiences on like just womanhood and sexuality and how that all plays into experience. Now I feel like doing a part 2. Okay, I'm so excited. So I wrote some things down just to integrate the messages, because the messages have been flowing for a few weeks now, but they cook in my consciousness. So I'm just going to take a moment and honor the being that's watching this. Thank you so much for being present into bettering yourselves. This is why I do these videos, so it's an honor for me to host this space, this container of space with my ancestors all present with me, sharing the information. So I want to get you to take a moment to ground. You can feel the base of your feet. Ooh. Feel the tongue touching in between the gums and the teeth. Feeling the heart, is it forward, past the hips? Are your shoulders stacked upon your hips? Or are your shoulders behind your hips? Feeling what it feels like to have your spine move between time and space. Feeling the subtleties, the little tiny movements that make up this big, beautiful journey. Okay, so we want to do this video for a minute, like I said, and it's really important for me because I feel like the divine feminine at the moment, femininity is changing. It's growing, it's expanding. It's in some aspects going back to the super ancient techniques, and inclusive of that, it's expanding beyond the 3D dimension. It's expanding into the cosmos, into the stardust that we are, and so it's encompassing and incorporating all this beautiful ancient rituals of women, of queens that were in a space of power and liberation and freedom of sexuality, which I want to share with the beautiful divine masculine in me and men in particular as well, because I feel like there was an experience where you couldn't hold sexiness without it means sex, and that shit is just stupid to me, because just because I hold the sexual energy, you know, as I speak, as I connect, as I hug, the only reason why it feels so intense that people relate it to sex is because people are only channeling that powerful, vulnerable soul experience through this one sexual, physical intercourse experience. So the point of this video is to expand your horizons, expand your thoughts. And so there are going to be some questions, some journal prompts that I'm going to suggest you write down and just take some time to meditate on them. Okay, first topic we're talking about is owning your sexual power. Now, what does that mean? Okay, so as a human being, I want you to, this is going to be a prompt for you. What does it mean to have sexual power? What does that mean? And then maybe you want to define, what does sexual power mean to me? So that's like the similar question. This is actually what I'm saying, is because the reason why I want you to write this down, because you're going to get back to it after this video, taking a moment to understand, where do you channel, where do you transmute your energy? And as I speak, there's going to be questions that you write up on your own. So that's another prompt right there. Where do you channel your sexual energy into? So what I've been learning and teaching my clients is how to be in a space of this powerful inner strength of sensuality, and how to use this beautiful energy, flow with it within the within all parts, all areas of our lives. So it's been so much fun for me to own my sexuality. I don't know if that's the right word, but I'm going to use it for the lack of a better term. Another one will reintegrate that one as soon as I find it. And so owning sexual power is like, you know what, like I am this, and yeah, you feel this powerful, like, oozing energy, but it does not mean that I want to have sex with you. That does not mean I am a slut. That does not mean we have to go to physical intercourse, touching in that way. I saw that, but I mean like people. There's like an experience in between that I want to focus on. Okay, it's the subtleties of all of that experience, of all of the, look, my cat's tail, and that's what you do. And I really want people to understand if they are afraid of this power. Are you shy of this power? If you dance and it comes out all sexy, do you not like it to come out that way? I knew one woman who had been so used to dancing to seduce that when she had found herself, she was so afraid to dance in a sexual way because she didn't want to revert back to her way of seducing, and where it was like manipulative, and there was a shell that needed to break through. And it was so interesting because I felt it. I felt the stuckness, the fear, and the growth that was there. And I know what I would help her in that space is being comfortable and being okay with owning and combing through that energy all the time. And so the intention with the energy, the intention with the sexuality is not that you're manipulating someone, but it's that you feel sexy and you just want to dance in that way, and that's okay. And feeling sexy is fun too, right? It doesn't necessarily mean you want to fuck. I'm going to use all those different words. Intercourse, sex. It's so interesting because I grew up in a Catholic home, and all these words were not said, and I feel like I was sexually repressed as a woman. And it's not to blame someone, it's to empower myself. It's to show I was somewhere, and you, wherever you are, whether you're so far in that experience, you can be, should you want to, liberated in your sexuality and still be innocent and still be you and still have fun and still welcome your womanhood. Okay, so one example that I experienced was I was in a conversation with a male, and I didn't want to give him the impression that I was seducing him because I didn't want to have sex with him. And so I was in a towel. I'm like, oh, I should call him. And I was like, wait, I shouldn't because I'm in a towel. That's going to make him think a certain way. So I was like, wait a minute. Just because I'm in my towel and I'm holding space for my sexuality, why does it feel that it only has to result in that I'm asking for it in that way? Yo, I'm a woman. I'm holding my sexuality. And if you can't hold your shit together, that's your problem. Okay? So that is what I want to focus more on, like owning that space, that power in a sexual energy experience, because you don't have to have, it's sexual energy without the sex. Yeah, so I want to ask you, this is your, I don't know, fourth prompt. Where do you feel like you shy away from your sexual energy? When you look at your partner or someone that you want to be intimate with, do you get afraid of the vulnerability that's being exchanged? Which leads me to my next subtopic, Tantra. So Tantra is a beautiful mystical experience of interrelating, of deep, conscious, sensual, human, cosmic experience all at the same time. And Tantra is expanding the subtlety. You're turning up the volume of the subtlety, and you turn up the volume of your soul purpose. You turn up the volume of who are you really? And that's what people, that's what I want people to be more excited to be in, rather than be scared of it, rather than be fearful of it. And so I love teaching beings, clients, how to integrate Tantra in their life and their day-to-day experiences, because what happens is you get to release all this repressed memories of experiences maybe in your past life, in your current past experiences that just no longer resonate, and are putting putting a cap on how amazing your life gets to be. So I teach that as part of my one-on-one private 5-month program. It is 222 Canadian dollars. Each month you get 2 sessions, one an hour-and-a-half session and one 30-minute session, and 15% off my workshops that are in person and online. And this is what we integrate in. So each person, it's different, because I want to meet people where they are. Some people have never meditated, some people have, some people are super third eye open, some people aren't. And so these programs are customized for you to really dive in and be like, okay, what do you need, and how can I be of assistance to hold that safe space for you to feel, for you to bleed, for you to release, for you to implement and consistently implement and live the best life you want to live. That's why I'm here, to hold this beautiful motherfucking space, y'all. Okay, so I hope I answered your questions about Tantra. If you do have any questions, please comment below. I would love to answer more of your questions on how Tantra enhances the life experience. Now, a tantric relationship doesn't necessarily mean a fucking relationship. It doesn't necessarily mean that. Actually, sometimes it doesn't even mean that at all. But what it means is you're waking up the kundalini that exists within the hips. You're invoking that sexual energy. It could also include flirting. It could also include some people call it tease. And then you're elongating that energy. You're moving in that energy. You're living in that energy. You're living from the space of the void, of the energy that your parents, like that love that birthed you in. And I understand some people might not have been birthed in love, in that love experience, but when two beautiful human beings come together in that way, there's some sort of magical spell that's being created. And so I want to hold space for the people whose beings who created them physically in this God body might not have been in a good space. And that's something that we also talk about and heal through in my program. These are services that are being offered as well, because it's so important to know that the situations that your parents were in, you chose that particular energy to be birthed into as well. And it doesn't have to be part of your DNA at all. And so I'm going to leave more for that on another video. This is about specifically about sexual energy and owning sexual energy without the sex. Next, we're going to move to sex as a performance. So there was a time in my life where I would wait for sex to get over, because I just wanted to know how I fared. I just wanted to it was so much giving that I didn't even think I had a healthy experience. It was just like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. So it was a performance. It was like, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This is what I'm supposed to be moaning. This is what I'm supposed to be doing, but not really feeling what I was saying or doing. So I was a wall. And that was like that with in every part of my life. I was like, I put on this wall, this facade that just didn't allow me to dive into who I am. So what Tantra does, what my program does, is allow people to really feel their soul, allow people to really live from the basis, from the root, from the soil of who they are, and then grow seeds from there, and then grow plants from there, and then grow different varieties of different organisms from there. Because what you're doing is you're charging your DNA with all of this love. You're charging the DNA with the high vibration, and then continuing that you're continuing that energy into the rest of the world, into the rest of the universe, into the rest of the Milky Way. You're just transcending. It's like you, as you do that, as you commit to yourself and being the most sexually liberated person, you are putting a finger on the water, bing, and this ripple effect, it changes. Like me being here and talking about this, it's gonna change a lot of lives. It's gonna allow all the beings that are around me right now to be like, what the fuck? Like, it's going to trigger some people. It's going to awaken some people. It's going to trigger and awaken some people. It's going to make people pissed. It's going to make people really dive deep into themselves. It's going to get people to meditate. It's going to get people to call me like, yo, I need to be in your program. Because this is the time that we are able to transmute all of the past repressive pain and forcing of sex that we don't need anymore. And so coming back to sex as a performance, I realized that like that information got downloaded through me today, because I was thinking, wow, I would only do this as a show. And then at one point when I met a conscious man and we were in a relationship, I started doing this whole performance and I collapsed. I was about to faint. Like I collapsed, and he's like, what's wrong? As we were making love. And it was because I was over giving, and in that I was so sensitive with my energy, I was like, I can't. And I slept in the bathroom for like an hour to like rejuvenate, and that was really interesting. And then moving forward, I really had to dive deep into what my body was asking of me, and to release. So I had to clear all that stagnancy that was in me, and again, that's something that we work on. Okay, next. So now that sex was this performance that I realized was performance, I remember wanting to rush so fast into it because I wanted the man to be happy. And I was just like, are you happy? Are you satisfied? Did you get what you needed? And like, not even like worrying about like me, like not even understanding like that's a co-creative experience. Not even understanding that. And now it's more of that. Now it's like more of like I get to have my sexual experience like so much that we both get to have it. And that's when the fireworks of true beauty gets to happen. And now that brings me to my next point, was that whenever I wanted to feel like sexually aroused, it would be because I was dreaming about a sexual experience with a man. And that would what turned me on. And I don't think I mean that's cool, but I don't think that's healthy, because I was depending on another to arouse me when I'm supposed to be aroused, be aroused for myself and share that. And I've been doing this for so many years, that being aroused by a concept that was outside of me. So what I've been doing now, and again, it's something that I teach, is bringing the energy back. And being internally aroused, like from the body, like from the sensation of your Kundalini awakening and your sexual organs being awakened, and you having that feeling and letting it stir and stir and stir. And that's how the Tantra exists. It's like the subtlety of that, rather than just instantly give it and throw it. It's like cooking and simmering and building and cooking and tasting and fun skipping, and so you're like oozing in this like flow. And I started being able to make love to myself without even physically touching myself, and that was huge. That was a huge experience. And so this is why I came by here, yo. So during that experience, I feel like it was really intriguing for me to not divert my energy into another being and then send that energy back. And it's kind of like Tai Chi, you know? I'm trying to like see, my Tai Chi teacher taught me this. I'm like trying to like do it the way he's trying to do it.